So here we have Bitcoin on Bybit on the 1 hour. Wow. Uh, we did get the bear trap. Came back, basically got above that 50, came up, tested the bottom of that range, faked everybody out right here, and as soon as we got above our 100, that and the bottom of this range that we were talking about, if we did, the bullish scenario was if we entered back into this range, we were going to have a nice pump probably through this whole range. That was the bullish scenario. It did have a lesser probability of happening, but remember, there nothing's ever 100%, you know. So the lesser probability happened. All our momentum was pointed to the downside, but a lot of it was unsustainable. I mean, like you see, like it did bounce off that bearish control zone. When we did not enter that bearish control zone, that was a sign that things could be different. All right, so all our momentum right now is bullish on multiple time frames. We are deep into the bullish control zone on the RSI, bouncing off that signal line. We will remain above that signal line as long as we stay above 21,050. So basically right where we're at. We could have some sort of a pullback, possibly maybe down to 2750, 2750. MACD looks like it's crawling over a bit, so it could come down, test its signal line. I do think this thing has another leg up. BBWP is very high. By the way, your MACD and your RSI are both momentum oscillators. They judge bullish and bearish momentum. And your BBWP down here measures volatility. I do think this thing has another leg up. Let's go to the 2-day. You are getting out of the bearish control zone, above your signal line. MACD curling back up, probably going to cross its signal line. You need to get back above 22,368 in order to cross that signal line to the downside or to the upside. BBWP is below its moving average though. But on the 2-day here, you're basically just ranging. So are we going to come back up to the 50 at 23,700, and make a lower high? That is the question right now. I mean, we could range here for a while, but if we come back up, let's go to the daily. If we come back up to this 50 and get rejected, I would expect us to break this last low. I would expect this to be a double trap. Bear trap, bull trap. On the daily, you are getting out of the bearish control zone. Right above that neutral median line, cracked above that signal line. So, I mean, it's looking good right now. And your BBWP is about to cross its moving average. So, like I said, you could probably have some sort of a pullback here, but ultimately I think you will get another leg up, possibly up to the top of this range at 21,800, maybe even 22,600. At that point, it's all going to depend on whether we can get back above this VPVR level right here at basically 23K. If we can do that, I do think we would come somewhere up to 24 to 25K. Right now, your RSI on the 8-hour is in the bullish control zone above its signal line. MACD, fresh cross to the upside, working its way up to the zero line. I do think we cross that zero line, possibly get some sort of rejection. The zero line is support and resistance, so when you're below it, it's going to act as resistance. BBWP is working its way up into the upper zone, so the volatility is here. Volatility will probably continue to increase. Maybe we get up to the 21,600 before the pullback, or we have the pullback here down to the bottom of this range at 20,760. So I would guess that we would get some sort of rejection from between 21,550 and the POC point of control on your VPVR here to the right at 21,450, which the VPVR measures horizontal volume on a certain price point. Let's go down to the 4-hour. 4 hours deep in the bullish control zone, fresh cross to the upside of the signal line, fresh cross to the zero line. Signal line's about to cross the zero line. Positive momentum on the histogram, has broken all these last highs. Coming up to this last high on the histogram, I would expect some sort of resistance at that point. So that's what I'm saying. This move's probably cooling down. BBWP is very high. Looks like it's going to test that red line. So we might get some dark red bars, meaning the volatility is as high as it usually gets, and we'll probably start to consolidate. So we are in the midpoint of the range. As soon as we broke that POC down here, I mean, we cracked up. Now here on the 4-hour, we are possibly going to get a cross of the 21 and the 50. And if they cross the 100 at, 20,100, if they can cross that level, I would expect us to at least come up to the top of this range, possibly even up to the 22,600 level. Let's go down to the 1-hour, talk about the bullish and bearish cases. So you are having a multi-cross on this as your momentum is bullish, as your volatility is rising, and all your momentum is bullish right now. So this is a signal. This is signal right now, which makes me think this has another leg up, possibly come down to the top of this range at 2460. By that time, the 21 will come up here. You're going to have major support. All right, so bearish case. Bearish case is that we break back into this channel at 20,000 for basically 20,500. If that happens, I would expect a bounce at the 19,800 level, another bounce at the 100 and the bottom of this range at 19,500, but ultimately I think we would come back down to 19K. And that's the bearish case. If we break 19K, take $1,000 down each level, 17, 16, so on and so forth. But that's if we break back into this range. If that happens, I would expect this to be one massive bull trap. So hopefully you stayed above this move. Once you got this multi crossover right here, you would have caught half of this move already. So yeah, I mean, those are basically my thoughts for Bitcoin. Right now we are looking good. I do think it has another leg up. Could get some sort of a pullback, down to 2750, 20,750, the bottom of this range, and then continue up. But it's all going to depend on whether we can break the top of this range at the 21,800 level. If we can break this last high, I would expect us to come up here to 22,500. Now, I don't necessarily think the bull run has started again. I don't think we get back above 25K, but we could get into this red zone if we start breaking these levels. So yeah, just definitely watch. I do think we have another leg up, but I do think we could get a pullback first, because like I said, stuff's starting to get a little heated. Your BBWP is starting to cross the moving average to the downside. So if we start to get a pullback as that happens, I would expect that to be a corrective move. So those are basically my thoughts for Bitcoin. Let's move on to Ethereum. If you guys are liking this video so far, like and subscribe to the channel. Check out the links in the description below. Turn on the bell notifications. Get notified with this time-sensitive content. Join the Discord. A lot of good conversation about trading, investing in crypto there. Stay ahead of the curve. So here on Ethereum, let's go ahead and clean this chart up a bit. We did break down out of that level. Okay, so we did break the last high. We came back down, basically tested our purple zone right exactly. As soon as we got back above that purple zone, that let you know that this was a bear trap. Got your multi crossover, your fan out confirmation on your moving averages. RSI in the bullish control zone. MACD starting to curl over a bit. Like I said, we could get a pullback. Positive momentum is decreasing on the histogram. BBWP crossed its moving average to the downside. So we could possibly get a pullback to either 1700. We've been talking about 1700 since down here. If we got back, look at this. Soon as we broke out of this purple zone, boom, came back down for a retest on your 50 and the top of this purple zone as you had the multi crossover. And this was a full multi crossover and a fan out. That's the best moving average signal you can get right there, at least in my strategy. BBWP is coming down below its moving average, so we can have some little consolidation, possibly get a pullback to 1700, maybe even a wick down to 1685, where this 21 is sitting. So somewhere in there. Let's go ahead and put a purple zone there, actually. So somewhere in here would be another good zone. Let's go ahead and turn this to purple. So we got another purple zone. We're going to have support there. Also support at 1650. Also support at the POC point of control in the VPVR at 1640. But if we fall below that POC and the 50, I would expect this to be a bull trap. This is basically the bearish case. If we fall out of the bullish control zone, cross this signal line to the downside, start printing some dark red bars on the histogram as your BBWP gets back above its moving average, and we fall below the 50 in the POC at basically 1635, I would expect this to be a bull trap, and I would expect us to then get a bounce at 1575, ultimately come back down to these lows. You know, are we in one big ass range here? You know what I mean? Are we in one big ass range? We had a bear trap there, but ultimately, you know, we're gonna find out. If we can get back above this purple zone at 1800, I would expect us to come up to 1900, possibly even 1950. If we break 1950, next level I got is 2100. There is potential that we get up there. So RSI, as long as we stay above 1725, basically right where we're at now, we could get this pullback, cross that signal line, come back down to the top of the bullish control zone, you know, where this last low is, and then continue up. But we're going to find out. Now, if we break the bullish control zone, come below this last low, probably going to break this neutral median line. That would feed into that bearish case. We basically already went over the bullish case. As long as we hold the 21 and the 50, we're in good shape. The 21 and this purple zone is going to be major support. I do think we're going to have another leg up as well at 1770. Possibly going to pull back down to the 21 first, but we'll find out. But ultimately, I do think we touch that 1770 level. So yeah, I mean, let's go to the 4 hour. 4 hours having a fan out on the moving averages in the bullish control zone on the RSI. Strong upside curvature on that MACD. Bullish momentum is increasing on the histogram. MACD is very high, but it is crossing its moving average. That's what I'm saying. We could get a pullback. Let's go to the daily. Now, the daily, your 21 is crossing your 50, which looks pretty good. Makes me think there could be a short-term to medium-term pullback. I mean, we could come up to 1900, get a lower high, make this a bull trap, come back down, wreck the bulls and the bears, or the bears and the bulls, you know, wreck them both. Right now, your RSI did bounce off the signal line, coming up above the neutral median line, so looking good there. MACD, fresh cross to the upside, about to cross its zero line. You need to get back above 1797 in order to cross that zero line to the upside. If it crosses that zero line to the upside, that is going to look good for the medium-term time frame. BBWP is very low. So if it crosses that moving average, the move has just begun. Now, I'm not saying that that's the bullish move. We could come all the way up to 1900 and then cross the moving average and then crack back down. And basically, if we break the 1350 level, basically if we break this last low at 1430, I would expect new lows. And that's basically the bearish case. You know, if we cross that signal line to the downside, get back in that bearish control zone, get rejected from the zero line, cross its signal line as we get above that moving average, that would feed into the bearish case. All right, so right now we're up 10%, 9% on Bitcoin. I mean, it's looking good. It's looking like we could have a pullback, like I said, but I mean, it looks like there's another leg up. Let's move on to Solana. Solana was looking like shit. Then we crossed all the moving averages, had the multi-moving average crossover, had your fan out confirmation, broke the POC point of control. As soon as that happened, you smashed through those moving averages at about 3160. As soon as you broke that level, you fired off. Broke right through our purple zone, coming back down for a retest. Probably, we already got some support at 3475 at the 21 EMA. And we're going to find out what happens next. Right now, your RSI is pulling back, getting out of the bullish control zone, crossing the signal line to the downside. MACD crossing the signal line to the downside, starting to print some dark red bars on the histogram as your BBWP is nosediving. Now, your BBWP is nosediving as the price action is going down, which makes me think that this is a corrective move. All right, 3475 is going to be your support level. Next is going to be 3435. Now, if you break the 50, and no, actually, if you break the 200, If you break the 200 at $32, I think that's it. I think this was a massive bull trap. Now, I understand that that's giving up the entire rally. But, I mean, that's what it is. I mean, you have supported each one of these moving averages, and you would make a higher low. So, well, I mean, basically, as long as you hold this last low at $33, I changed that. $33, this last low, you're in good shape. All right, so let's move on to the daily. Let's go to the daily for Solana. Check this out. On the BBWP, dark blue read right now, and it's coming up as the price action's moving up. So watch this red zone. If we can get up to this red zone, basically, if we can break the 21, if we can break the 50 and the 100, I think we come up to about $43. Now, if we can get up to the top of this red zone at 46, basically 46.50, then we're going to find out whether we can break this last high. If we do that, if we do come up to here and get a lower high, I think this was one big ass bull trap. Right now, your MACD on the daily is pointed strong upside curvature. Positive momentum is increasing on the histogram as you're busting out of the bearish control zone above that neutral median line and your signal line. You basically got that on 3 ticks. Actually, 2 ticks. By the time you cross your signal line, you broke out of the bearish control zone. It's looking good. I mean, we've broken the range highs. So basically, the measured move is right where we are right now of the range. You can take your range, your length of your range, vertical, and put it on top of the range or on the bottom as soon as you break it. Basically, the measured move has happened. So watch the pullback, because this could be a bull trap. I don't think it is, but we'll find out. All right, I do think we have another leg up, then possibly a bull trap. Actually, let's go back to Bitcoin. I want to put a fib on this. I want to put a fib on this move right here at the high to the low. So we broke through the 618. Let's see, next level I'd be looking at. Let's see if we got confluence with anything. Basically, the 272 comes right in at 21,800 at the top of our purple zone. Check this out. 3618 comes in at 23,700, which is in our red zone. So we'll definitely watch that level if we can't get up to here. Watch the 2618. We're basically going to move this down to right here. 22,300. I want to be on top of that 2.618. We did break through the bull trap area, which was your basically right where you got rejected at first, and that's what initiated the retest and the finishing of the bear trap. You got rejected from the 618, which is a common bull trap area. Cracked them both. You got the bulls and the bears, and right now you're wrecking the bears. So we'll find out whether we can get up to the top of this purple zone and then come back to it. All right, so if you guys like this video, like and subscribe to the channel, join the Discord. Everyone have a great morning, great afternoon, great evening. Enjoy the pump. I'll see you in the next one.